A man is shown in the forest at the start of the film, and is desperately trying to escape the forest, appearing frantic. The forest is so dense that there seems to be no way out. The man continues moving forward, even though the sun has already set. While running, he comes to a point where a fairy skeleton has written "point of no return," meaning no one can go back from here. Looking at this board, the trouble is clear on his face. The darkness deepens and all the birds fly away. There is no place to hide, so the man climbs up a tree. Unfortunately, he falls from such a high tree. Before he faints, we see someone pulling him, but who it is remains unknown. The scene cuts, and after 6 days a girl named Mina is shown in the city. Mina has no friends or family except for a sister. The owner of the pet store where she works gives her an order to drop off a parrot at the zoo. Mina picks up the parrot and takes it home because she needs to go to the zoo the next day. She spends the night with the parrot and in the morning, leaves for the zoo with it. While walking on this long road, she suddenly takes a wrong turn and ends up in the middle of the forest. This is the same place where we saw the man disappear earlier. She drives her car into the forest but soon realizes she doesn't know the way out. She has to get out of the car. She thinks there must be someone nearby who can help her. She takes her parrot and starts moving forward. The darkness deepens and suddenly, all the birds fly away from the trees, just like before. Mina was now scared because the ground was shaking. She felt like someone was near her. An old woman was running away from her and Mina followed her while asking for help, but the woman did not stop and kept running. When Mina got tired of following her, she stopped. When she stopped, the old woman called out to her and said, "If you want to live, run fast and come to us." Hearing this, Mina returned to the old woman, who held her hand and brought her to a house. This was not a house but a strange room with a huge mirror. There were 2 other people with the old woman. In fear, Mina asked them, "What is this place?" They did not respond and told her to stand in front of the mirror because someone was coming to see them. Mina asked, "Who is coming to see us?" The old woman Madeline replied, "The Watchers are coming to see us." Suddenly, strange noises started to be heard. The old woman said, "The Watchers are happy that you have come. They are clapping for you." Mina was confused. The Watchers that Madeline was talking about were neither shown in the movie nor seen by Mina or anyone else. Anyway, the night passes and they come out of this place in the morning. Madeline says the Watchers only come out at night. During the day they can roam freely in the forest. Mina does not want to stay in this forest and decides to go ahead to get out. But Madeline says, "This is not a good decision. There is no way out of this forest. We have to come back to this house before night. If you are late you will lose your life." Mina does not listen to anyone and keeps moving forward with her parrot. As she moves forward, she sees the same sign, "Point of no return." She is scared, but like the previous man, she keeps moving in the direction of the sun, unable to get out of the forest. Suddenly, she feels a tremor under the ground. She gets scared and runs back to the house feeling defeated. Madeline encourages her and says, "You are not the only one who tried to get out of here and failed. We have also tried and failed to get out of here. There is no way out. This forest draws souls to its side and shows strange things to humans. It can also make you crazy, so if you want to stay alive, stay with us. This forest is a hunter and we are all its prey." Madeline shows her a lot of signboards with "Point of no return" written on them, placed in a circle in the forest. Madeline says, "They are half a day away from our house. If you go beyond this it will be difficult to return, so whenever you see them do not ignore them." Mina asks who made all this. Madeline replies, "It was made by a professor." At night they return to the house. Every night Watchers come to see them. Tonight, a girl named Kira dances in front of them and says she enjoys it. It is not necessary for the 4 of them to stand in front of the Watchers every night. They could do whatever they wanted but could not turn their faces toward them. At night, their only problem is the Watchers. But during the day they face many difficulties. They have to hunt something from the forest every day to survive. The next day, Kira and Mina go into the forest to collect food. Mina asks Kira what the Watchers want. Kira replies, "I don't know much, but Madeline has a theory. According to her, the Watchers see us and observe us. But if we see them we will go crazy." Kira shows Mina a pit and says there are many such pits in the forest. During the day all these Watchers reside in these pits, and at night they come out. Mina tells Kira that they have been trapped here for 6 months. Kira's husband went into the forest to find a way out and she hopes he will find a way back, and they will be able to get out of here. We know that Kira's husband was actually the same man we saw at the start of the movie, who was taken away. Upon returning home, Madeline explains 3 rules to Mina for staying alive here. First, she must not open the door of her house at night. Second, she must not turn her back toward the mirror at night. Third, she must not go near the holes during the day and should stay in the light. That night, Mina wants to learn more about the Watchers. That's why she tries to listen for any sounds coming from the mirror. When she can't hear anything, she turns her back toward the mirror, which angers the watchers. They start hitting the mirror forcefully, causing a crack to appear. Madeline wakes up because of the noise and tells Mina to face the mirror to calm their anger. The night eventually ends and the next day, Mina goes on a hunt with Daniel. Mina doesn't want to waste her good days there and is preparing to leave. She asks Daniel if he has ever seen a watcher. Daniel answers no. Mina then explains, "I think these are all just stories made up by Madeline to trap us. We should check these holes. Maybe we'll find a way out of here." Daniel, eager to escape, agrees to help. Mina ties a rope around herself and descends into one of the holes. Daniel holds the other end of the rope so he can pull her out quickly if needed. Mina reaches the bottom of the hole and finds a lot of human belongings. Mina collects the items which must belong to humans trapped in the forest. With Daniel's help and the rope, they pull the items out of the hole. Before Mina exits the hole, she notices someone's fingers inside but can't see clearly what it is, causing her to become scared. They bring the items back to their safe house, where Madeline asks where they found them. Mina and Daniel lie, saying they found the items in the forest. Madeline, having lived there for a long time, knows that they did not come from the forest, but from the hole. Madeline keeps asking Mina to tell her what she saw inside the hole, but Mina refuses to say anything. They also found a camera in the hole, which they turn into a CCTV camera and set up outside the house to monitor the watchers. Despite Madeline's warnings that they are making a mistake, Mina and Daniel ignore her. They wait for the watchers to appear, but they haven't shown up yet. Instead, something strange begins to happen to them. There is a knock on their door. They check the camera and see human legs outside, and the voice of the person matches Kira's husband. Kira believes her husband must have found a way out and quickly gets up to open the door. However, Madeline stops her, saying, "You can't open this door. I know that your husband is not outside." Kira doesn't believe Madeline, so Madeline suggests you can test him. Ask him something only you or your husband would know. Kira asks the person outside about a book that only she and her husband would know about. But when the person doesn't answer, they realize that he is a watcher. Unable to open the door, the watcher breaks the camera outside. The watchers become enraged and are about to break the mirror outside their house. However, they all stand in front of the mirror. After doing this, the watchers stop trying to break the mirror and do not come to kill them. A lot of terrible things happen to them that night. Daniel and Mina decide to confess to Madeline that they went into the pit. Madeline becomes furious because they have broken a rule. She throws all the items they took from the pit back into it, and now Mina will have to stay there, even though she doesn't want to. Time passes, and the weather changes to winter, but they remain stuck. Mina goes out daily to find a way out but doesn't succeed. She has created a map and believes that one day she will complete it. Due to the winter, they are not getting enough food, and their mental condition deteriorates because of the lack of sustenance. In the midst of everything, Madeline and Daniel get into a fight. In his anger, Daniel leaves Madeline and Mina outside and locks himself and Kira inside the safe house. As night approaches, Madeline and Mina knock on the door, begging Daniel to let them in, but he refuses. With darkness falling, they are forced to take shelter under a dense tree to avoid the watchers. They hear the watchers' voices growing closer. At this point, the audience is shown a glimpse of the watchers. They are tall, thin, and menacing. The watchers emerge from their holes and make their way to the safe house to observe the humans. When the watchers don't find Mina and Madeline, they begin searching the forest for them to eat. As the creatures move farther away, Mina and Madeline seize the opportunity to return to the safe house. They knock urgently on the door and Daniel eventually opens it for them. They are panicked after encountering the creatures. Madeline tells everyone, "I lied to you when I said I was stuck here. In reality, I came here in search of these creatures. I read in books that they are fairies. When I arrived and saw them, I realized they are monsters and quite intelligent as well. And they can take on any appearance. The one I saw took my appearance. His hair was disheveled and there were dark circles under his eyes. From their actions I inferred that they learn something new every day to become more like us. That's why they come and observe us daily, mimicking what we do." At this moment, there is another knock on the door. The creatures are imitating their voices and asking to be let inside. They cannot open the door themselves, but if they don't, it won't matter. The creatures have enough power to break through the iron door and come inside. They need to hide somewhere but can't think of a place. Suddenly, Daniel notices the ground. When he removes the carpet, he discovers a bunker. They quickly move inside and close the entrance. They are surprised to find that the bunker had been there for a long time without their knowledge. Inside the bunker is well equipped with provisions for thousands of days, TVs, technology, and other supplies. Curious about who made this place, Mina turns on the computer. There was no internet on the computer, but data was saved. When they open it, they find out that Dr. Martin created it. The professor knew about these creatures and wanted to research them, which is why he built this bunker. He lived in the bunker, lured humans with promises of money, then left them in the upside-down room and hid in the bunker at night. The monsters would later eat those humans. During his research, Dr. Martin explains that the creatures were not monsters but fairies who once lived with humans. However, they deceived the humans, escaping while trapping them here in the forest. They lost their magic and feathers from living underground for so many years. Moreover, Dr. Martin mentions that during his research, he discovered a different type of fairy that can come out of the holes even in the light. She was kind and didn't kill Martin, so he brought her here. This fairy learned everything while living with Martin, but eventually, they had a falling out. The computer has many videos, and Martin has said something in each one. Mina just wants to know what happened in the end, so she plays the last video. In the video, Mina sees that the professor was about to kill himself and the fairy. Before dying, he reveals the way out of the forest for those trapped there. He says that if they run in the direction where the birds fly in the evening, they can leave the forest. In his recorded message, he adds that if anyone succeeds in escaping, they should go to the university and destroy his research. Some secrets should remain secrets. I made a huge mistake coming here. I can't build the world I dreamed of. I couldn't keep humans and fairies together. Despite this, they spent the night happily, having found a way out. They emerge from the bunker and see that the Watchers have destroyed their safe house. Now they head towards the forest's exit, following the direction of the birds that the professor mentioned would fly in the evening. They must leave before sunset, so Mina releases the parrot she had. As they move in the direction of the parrot, they come across a grave. Seeing the grave, Madeline says, there was a time when they lived with humans, but the humans deceived them and left them here in the forests. Now, because the fairies have lost their feathers and magic, they can't escape from this forest. They reach a stream while walking, realizing they can escape through it as evening approaches. The Watchers are now coming out of their holes. Before they move far, while sitting in Martin's boat, Daniel meets his companion John, who is injured. Daniel moves ahead to help him while the rest of the group sits in the boat. Before Daniel returns, they realize that the person Daniel sought help from wasn't human, but a fairy disguised in human attire. Now wearing Daniel's attire, kills him while leaving a mark on his forehead. Unable to help Daniel, they discover that fairies cannot cross the stream. They manage to reach the city by crossing the stream. The scene cuts to Mina at Martin's university, where she has come to destroy his research data as he instructed. As she deletes the research, she uncovers something new. When humans and fairies lived together thousands of years ago, they even married and had children known as hybrids. Mina also finds out that Madeline was the professor's wife. She becomes confused as to why Madeline didn't tell her this. To discuss the situation, she goes to Kira and tells her that Madeline, whom they met in the forest, was actually Professor Martin's wife. She didn't reveal this because she wasn't human. She was a fairy who could change appearances. Kira is surprised to hear this. In reality, Professor Martin's wife, Madeline, died many years ago from lung cancer. The professor loved his wife so much that he wanted to be with her again, which is when he discovered the fairies. He made one of the fairies look like Madeline, using his wife's picture as a reference. As Mina recounts this, she realizes she is actually telling it to Madeline, not Kira. The fairy disguised as Kira then makes the real Kira unconscious. The disguised fairy, now intent on keeping her secret, moves to attack Mina. Before killing her, she reveals, I was different in the forest, and all the fairies made fun of me. I can come out in the daylight as well, so they threw me out in their anger. Mina responds, you weren't just different, you were special. You're a hybrid, meaning you're half human and half fairy. This is why you can live with both humans and fairies, and why you escaped from the forest. As Mina reveals the truth, Madeline regains her feathers and magic. She then flies away, leaving Mina behind. The story shifts to a few weeks later, where Mina has gone to stay with her sister because she is still scared after the forest incident. Now she wants to live with her sister. She tells her, I think that fairy still chases me. Mina's sister replies, don't worry, nothing will happen. In the final scene, a girl is shown outside Mina's house. She is revealed to be Fairy Madeline, who is living as a girl in their world. The story ends with this scene.